And it's certainly the big story coming out of KwaZulu-Natal. The High Court in Durban expected to hand down judgment today on the ANC's bid to prevent the newly founded MK party from using its name and logo to contest next month's elections. The ANC has hauled the party to court, accusing it of being in violation of the Trademarks Act. It's arguing MK is riding on the coattails of its legacy. We've got a full team for you in and outside court. Joining us now is Simphiwe Makhanya, part of our team who's there, who's going to give us a live update around the situation there. And, you know, the concern has always been from other political parties, Simphiwe, that MK typically uses these moments for electioneering by having a huge campaign outside court. And I imagine much of the same is going to unfold today.
Indeed, we saw last time when the matter was heard here at the Durban High Court, the MK party organizing massive support. Of course, that was addressed by the former president of the ANC and of the country, Mr. Jacob Zuma, who is now the leader of the MK party. We are expecting the same today, but of course, maybe before we get that particular confirmation, let's engage the MK KwaZulu-Natal elections head, that is Mr. Simphiwe, who's going to talk to us about whether the party has organized supporters to come here today. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you. Thank you once again. Mkhonto wesizwe volunteers, masses are always ready, 24/7. They are ready now, they will be ready on the 29th, they'll also be ready beyond 29. So we are here.
Is the former president expected to be here today?
Is always present, is always on the ground. Definitely we might see him.
Let's talk about your expectations now as the party with regards to this very critical judgment as the MK party. Of course, you made your submissions before this court the last time that this matter was heard, and you still very much believe that you are going to emerge victorious.
We got a highly qualified, competent legal team in this country. That is not just for the leaders of Mkhonto wesizwe, but that are representing largely South Africans, that are representing us legally to free South Africans. So we are more than confident.
If this matter does not go in your favor, what then happens?
The matter will go in the favor of all South Africans that will vote Mkhonto wesizwe, which is 2/3 come the 29th of May.
I'm saying, Mr. Mkhize, that if the judge today rules against the MK party, what is going to be your position going forward? Our
position is always clear. We mobilize, we recruit, and we vote Mkhonto wesizwe.
Are you going to challenge this particular judgment if it goes against your favor?
Definitely, because we know the numbers, the 2/3 that we already have that will vote for Mkhonto wesizwe to free this country, to free the citizens of Riskat, to free the women, to free the youth, to free the elderly, to fight crime, that whatever decision that is against them, we'll have to get our legal team to appeal, but there won't be a need for that because it's simple, the written is big on the wall and we are ready to govern the country.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
That is Mr. Simphiwe, who is the MK head of elections here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, saying, of course, that if the judgment does not go in their favor today, the party will definitely, appeal. Of course, we know that we're only left now with a few weeks before the elections, so this judgment is going to be very critical, for the MK party as well as the ANC, which, by the way, has said that it is not going to let this one slide. When we spoke to the Secretary General of the ANC, he did earlier on indicate that if they lose this particular court case, they intend appealing it. So it's going to be very interesting to see what is going to unfold here to the Durban High Court as we anticipate that particular judgment, which we expect that it will be handed down at about 10 this morning, Ayanda.
Right, and in the lead up to that, I suppose, Simphiwe, it's worth taking a couple steps back to just remind us how we got here. The Mkhonto wesizwe party, of course, backed by the former president, much to the ire of the ANC, who say that even though their Mkhonto wesizwe military wing is no longer in operation, they've always used this name and logo and therefore see it as one of the rooms in this house, which is the ANC.
Exactly, and as you're putting it, I mean, if you listen to the speeches that have been delivered, particularly by the leaders of the ANC, I'm talking about the SG of the ANC, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, who at one point said that they, as the ANC, do not mind if former President Jacob Zuma walks out of the ANC and forms his own political party. But what they are contesting is the name as well as the logo of the MK party, which they say is their heritage and which they say is also their intellectual property, because they are alleging that, or rather they are saying that if the MK party is allowed to use the name and the logo, it may in some way basically confuse the voters as we gear up for those crucial elections on the 29th of May. But of course, the MK party has been vehemently opposing those particular sentiments, saying that nobody owns this particular name and logo, and therefore the MK party is in fact allowed to actually use this particular name and logo. But perhaps you spoke about something very interesting, Ayanda, initially when you started this conversation about what the MK party has been able to basically do when it comes to these particular court cases where they have been able to campaign and where they've been able to be visible. And I suppose they are taking that particular advantage even today, as we heard from Mr. Simphiwe, who is the KwaZulu-Natal head of elections, saying that they are expecting those MK members and supporters to gather outside the Durban High Court in their numbers. We saw the arrival of Advocate Dalimpofu, who is representing the MK party in this particular court case, and we also saw the arrival of Advocate Kwazi Mshengu, who has been sent by the ANC, to basically monitor the proceedings here out inside the court room this morning. We are beginning to see quite a few leaders now arriving. I'm talking about the leaders of the MK party as well as the ANC and the legal teams that are involved in this particular matter, Ayanda.
Yeah, which means I suppose we should get ready to bring those visuals to our viewers. So for now, Simphiwe Makhanya, thanks very much indeed. Simphiwe's live to us there from just outside the High Court in Durban. And yeah, last week it was EFF leader Julius Malema who essentially insinuated, I beg your pardon, that this is a poor political strategy from the ANC by constantly challenging the MK party, because essentially they're keeping the organization in the news and allowing them to campaign outside court, as we've seen multiple times before. But yeah, certainly a lot of important precedent to be set inside court as soon as those proceedings begin. Catch them first here on the SABC.